Hey guys, Scary Stories here. I hope you've been well. Tonight I have 3 stories for you. They're based around one of my favorite subjects to read about. Maybe the title of this video gave it away, or the thumbnail, I'm not sure yet, but in case it hasn't, these ones are all about seeing strange things outside your window at night. But that's all the spoilers you're gonna get. You gotta watch the whole video to find out what happens. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. Let's get into them. So this one comes from somebody on Reddit. I'll take the son's name out, just to be on the safe side. I'm a single dad, and my son is 13. Last summer, right after his birthday, something happened that neither of us can quite forget. It was about 3 a.m. when I heard him screaming. I started to run to his room, and we met halfway in the hallway. He started sobbing and telling me that someone was looking through his window. So, he called the cops while I went outside and looked around. I didn't find anyone. He told the cops everything, and they began to search around. They did find an older man hiding out in a park near our house, and it was pretty terrifying. My son wasn't okay, and he ended up sleeping with me that night. To this day, he'll often have nightmares about that man too. I hope he's rotting away in prison now. I live with my parents in the suburbs. My bedroom is in the basement with a window right on ground level. Tonight, as I was walking up the driveway to go inside, I noticed a set of footprints in the snow. They led directly from the street to the window that sits right above my bed. I was immediately unsettled and mentioned it to my dad right away. He said he had no idea where they were from, and then he went outside to go take a look. He said to me that he doesn't quite know what to think about it, but I'm pretty sure I do. And the strangest thing is, the footprints stop right at my window, completely. There's no sign that whoever it was turned around or left. Maybe they retraced their steps and left, but why? I took a crappy picture from the front porch. You can see that here. My window is completely covered in bushes, but you can clearly see that someone made a beeline directly for my window. Anyone have any ideas why someone would do this? So, if those two didn't scare you off completely yet, I do have one more. Think of the other ones as a bit of an appetizer. This one's called Always Remember to Close Your Blinds. For a bit of context, I'm a single female in my 30s. I live alone, apart from my pets. Basically, I'm on my own when it comes to my safety. So this happened last summer. It was around 11 p.m., and I was sitting at my dining room table, typing away my final paper of the semester. Behind me sits my kitchen and a big window that overlooks my backyard. My backyard was completely surrounded by a 6-foot vinyl privacy fence. And inside that fence was a little garden that I'd been working on. Lots of cute flowers and a little pond. I was proud of it, and would leave the blinds open so that I could take in all my hard work during the day. I was caught up with my paper that was due at midnight, and since it was getting late, the dogs were snoozing away nearby. My concentration was broken, though, by a very sudden, very loud, and very deliberate tap, 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 tap behind me. I froze completely, and it dawned on me that I never closed my blinds. All of my interior lights were on, and we know how that works. Whoever was tapping could see me perfectly. Strangely and inconveniently enough, my dogs that would normally bark at the slightest noise were still asleep. It took me about 5 minutes to muster up the slightest ounce of courage to turn my head just enough to see the window, only to hear a loud crunch and another couple of taps. They were a bit lighter this time. No. Screw that. No need to look all the way. The last thing I need to see is a face pressed up against that window. To my left was a door to the garage, which led to the backyard. The door handle was within arm's reach, and I wouldn't have to look at the window to open it. I went for it. I called my dogs, and they jumped up as soon as I turned the knob. I guess whoever was watching me realized what I was doing. About 30 seconds passed, and I heard a couple more crunches, then a very loud thud. If you ever heard a vinyl fence being smacked against, it's a bit distinctive, and I knew they went for it. My dogs finally went nuts, and I ran to the window near the thud. There the lights were off and the blinds were closed, thankfully. I did catch a quick glimpse of a leg disappearing behind my neighbor's house. I stayed up till dawn with my metal baseball bat and one of those giant, sharp grill forks. With the fence and the dogs, I always did feel safe. How they got back there so quietly, I'll never know. I lived here my whole life and never had anything happen to me that got me so shaken. Whoever that was wanted me to know they were there and definitely wanted my attention. I've since installed multiple cameras and motion lights all around the perimeter of my house. It's been quiet since. And I feel better, but that illusion I always had of safety has all but disappeared. So, what do you think of those? I'm not sure exactly why, but if you've been watching the channel for a minute, you know I really enjoy stories that involve people peeking into windows and people walking down their hallway and seeing faces, or, late at night, you look out the window and there's a face pressed up against there. I'll see if I can find it, but when I was a kid, I had a little book of ghost stories, and there's a story in there about I think it was a ghost or something that would visit people that were on their hospital deathbeds or whatever. And the illustration for it was what stuck with me. I could be getting it mixed up with another story that was in the book, but I'll put a little caption or a little note if I find the picture I'm thinking of in my head. But anyways, it always stuck with me. There's this creepy looking dude that's looking in through a window or looking in through curtains, and I always associated that with, what if I wake up in the middle of the night, I look out my window and there's just someone peeking in. It's weird. It's creepy. Anyways, hopefully you've never had anybody doing anything like in these stories to you, 'cause that'd be awful. If you like the video, feel free to give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, maybe you could consider doing that. And if you've done both of those already, maybe look over to the right. If you see one of my videos on the suggested box, maybe give it a click and watch that one too. You don't have to, but it does help me out quite a bit. But that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stories, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. I hope you have a good night. Bye for now.